Hello everyone and welcome to the brown table of drawing stream post-mortem. The idea is I'll talk about this map, which we drew in the last stream over the course of an hour and 10 minutes, and how it went on the table during play, and what I thought about it, and what I might improve, that sort of thing. The whole idea behind it was that it represented a cylinder like this, and the players would have to move through that cylinder, make it from one side to the other, while it was rotating every turn a certain amount. Now at the table, you can see just by me folding that up, that's quite unwieldy to get three people around in order to strategize. So I just kept it laid out like this. And I used some of these guys as markers to show the extent of the walkable terrain. I used one of my whiteboard markers as a width guide, and then I marked it here and here and on these ends too. And we said, okay, this is the playable terrain this turn. Every turn it's going to move 6 squares this way. And whoever ends up on the wall or the roof, bad news for you. And along the way, of course, we had a number of obstacles. We had blue scribble, highly dangerous, because it represents a hole, and underneath the hole, a long drop to a fiery death in the volcano. We had these pools, and these were our, I'm not sure if it was like a saliva that our big monster had, but anyway, the purpose was to adhere the eggs to the inside surface of the cylinder, and they were nicely flammable too. That added some fun. And then, of course, the eggs, if they were harmed in any way, that would anger our boss monster, which was the giant snake. Sorry, I went with eel. Decided an eel was more fun. A fiery eel that had coiled around the edge of the entire cylinder and would poke its head through these holes and breathe fire and bite and hypnotize our players. So I must say, having the battle map, just showing my players, okay, this is what it's supposed to be like, and this is how we're going to play it, helped them visualize the whole thing, so it was useful in that way, even if we'd ever ended up playing with it folded up. And basically, we started on this side. The players got to choose which point they wanted to jump in. They didn't know there was the entire snake creature waiting for them. That was just a surprise in round 1. It busted up through here and surprised them. And I actually had a fun time challenging. I had challenging my players because they were a bard with polymorph, 2 polymorphs in fact, and a druid with all but one of his wild shapes to spare. And he went in here with his spider wild shape active, and the bard came in here in the form of a T-Rex, which was, of course, not what I was planning. I didn't know how they would end up here, but I knew it would be in some strange form, and I was right. So they busted in here as a T-Rex and a spider, tiny little spider. The spider scuttled off this way, and T-Rex decided he could just walk through here, and he very nearly did, except that the snake stopped him. And they had a nice little battle clash here. T-Rex was knocked back into bard form, and then through some fighting and some big hits, they forced the snake to retreat, and he would pop up here and here over the course of the fight. And it was quite a struggle, as I intended for the players to push through here, avoiding all the obstacles, jumping the gaps. And even in spider form, the druid had quite a tough time. He got stuck. He got kicked out of spider form twice. The bard was actually using mage hand to whisk the spider 30 feet per turn at the start, which was one of those strategies, basically like flying, which could potentially undo all of the difficulty. But regardless of all their tricks and all of their powers and talents and spells, it was still a challenging encounter, and I still made the bard make a death roll by the end, because he got all the way here And then he decided to do a standing jump across here. Now his half strength score, which is the distance he can standing jump, is 4. So he can standing jump 4 feet. I said, sure, just beat a 12 on your athletics DC and you can make it easy. And he rolled like a 6 or something. So I said, okay, that's fine. Roll a, I think it was a athletics check, climbing check, to grab onto the edge and not fall in. And he botched that too. So I said, okay, well, you're falling, but there are like construction chains and things underneath this cylinder. You got one last check, dude. Make a save or fall in lava. And luckily he made that one. But it was a turn after the snake had retreated outside the cylinder. So outside, where the barred now was, there was also the giant snake eel creature. And the snake eel creature gave that bard a big bite and hit him below 0. But luckily for us, we use the like an alternate death and dismemberment table in place of death. So instead of immediately falling into the lava, he rolled a 15 or something pretty good, avoided death and managed to hang on. And that is where we hit the pause button on the session. Druid made it all the way across, by the way. So I said, let's hit the pause button. Let's give you guys a week to think about how you're going to get out of this situation and come back. And I'll let you know how it ends probably. But I won't. There is a solution to all of it, but I won't mention it here because just on the off chance those players watch it. But yeah, as for our battle map, it served its purpose. It was challenging, it was unique, and I think it was memorable. It was quite unwieldy, marking our area of play and moving it every turn. But having just 2 players and 1 big boss monster to deal with, it was simple enough and it was moving along nicely. So I hope you liked that little insight into our game and into my general play style. And if you'd like to know anything else, or if you'd like to suggest anything else for me to draw, or if you'd like to suggest to my players how they might get out of this sticky situation, please leave a comment below. And I do plan on streaming on Twitch soon, so I'll leave a link to that too in the description, and you can subscribe if you wish. And that'll do it for today, so thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.